The Ghaghra in Spate by Keki and Daruwalla. Ghaghra is the name of a river in northern India, and the phrase in spate means in flood. This poem deals with the river in flood. A flood comes into the river Ghaghra every year. The flood comes without any prior notice. In the afternoon, the river may look just like a heap of mud. In the evening, it looks black like overboiled coffee, and at night, when the moon looks red, the river is like a wound caused by the lash of a whip. Going along the river bank in the growing darkness of the evening, one would never think that a flood is about to come. The landscape looks perfectly smooth and tranquil. Kingfishers and gulls may be seen on the river bank as usual. Then suddenly at night the flood arrives. It hardly takes 20 minutes for the waters in the river to rise to a high level, causing panic among the people living close by. There are no lamps to light the way for people wanting to flee to safe places, and there are no boats, not even makeshift ones, to carry them to safety from the flooded river. The water of the flooded river rushes into the village nearby, bringing down the mud and straw cottages and forcing the cottages to take shelter on the rooftops, which are still intact. The men find themselves in a precarious position on the rooftops. A buffalo gets drowned and its dead body rises to the surface of the water. It takes 3 days for the flood to subside, and during these 3 days, the men on the rooftops remain hungry, while those of the cattle, which are still alive, have not been milked during this time. Rescue boats arrive to take the people to safety and to provide them with food. The children are cheerful enough because they do not comprehend the danger which they have been facing. Then men do not indulge in curses or in any crazy kind of talk because they are familiar with the behavior of this river. They do not even pray to God for help because they know that the prayers in this situation are futile. Camps have been set up to distribute food among the villages, while 10 miles away from the scene of destruction, peasants go about catching fish from the flooded rice fields, while women in chauffeur driven cars come from the city to take a look at what the flood had done to the village people and to witness the stuff which the river water had deposited on the land nearby. The real damage which the river does becomes evident only after the flood has subsided and the water has retreated. The land where the flood waters had stayed for a number of days begins to sink. The houses in the village, which had withstood the fury of the flood, are now seen almost on the verge of collapse, and the rice fields, into which the flood water had brought plenty of fish, now begin to dry up and the fish begin to die. The fishes are killed by mud and the heat of the sun.